So, the United States government had a plan, a brilliant plan, to stop China from becoming a global AI superpower. They would simply stop selling them the chips needed to build one. Cut off Nvidia, cut off the hardware. No chips, no AI. Simple, right? Well, about that. Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, the man who literally builds the chips at the center of this story, just said out loud what nobody in Washington wants to hear. The export restrictions didn't stop China. They taught China how to stop needing us. And now Nvidia has effectively lost the Chinese market, a market worth billions of dollars. Gone, thanks to a policy designed to protect American dominance. Our frog is going to need a moment. Let's back up, because this story is actually fascinating and a little bit infuriating depending on which side of the Pacific you're on. For years, China was buying Nvidia chips by the truckload. Their AI companies, their data centers, their tech giants, all running on American hardware. Nvidia was making a fortune, everyone was happy. Then the US government stepped in and said, actually no. We don't want China using our best chips to build military AI or surveillance systems or technology that could one day be used against us. Which, okay, fair concern. Genuinely, the problem is what happened next. When you tell a country of 1.4 billion people, including an enormous pool of engineers, mathematicians, and scientists, that they can no longer buy your product, they don't just sit down and accept it. They build their own, and that is exactly what China did. Huawei, which everyone wrote off as finished after the last round of US sanctions, came back with domestically produced AI chips. Not perfect chips, not Nvidia-level chips, but chips that are getting better, fast, because now they have no choice but to make them better. Jensen Huang put it better than anyone. He said, and this is the part that should make every policymaker uncomfortable, that the export restrictions essentially forced China to become self-sufficient in semiconductor technology. In other words, the containment strategy didn't contain anything. It accelerated exactly what it was trying to prevent. That is a special kind of policy failure, the kind where you score a goal against your own team and then celebrate. Here's what makes America's position still strong. For now, it's not the hardware, it's the software, the ecosystem. CUDA, Nvidia's software platform, has been built over 15 years. Hundreds of thousands of developers know it. Every AI researcher in the world writes code for it. China can copy a chip design eventually. Copying 15 years of software ecosystem, developer habits, and institutional knowledge, that's a different problem entirely. That's actually where the real moat is. And Jensen Huang knows it, which is why he's been saying for years that the goal should be ecosystem dominance, not chip embargoes. But here's the sarcastic twist your frog feels obligated to point out. While Washington was busy congratulating itself on cutting off China's chip supply, China was also sitting on something America doesn't have nearly enough of. Energy. Cheap, abundant energy. AI runs on power, massive amounts of it. American data centers are already struggling with energy costs and grid capacity. China, they're building new power infrastructure specifically for AI at a scale that most Americans don't realize is happening. So while we block the chips, they quietly started solving the next bottleneck we haven't even fixed yet. Incredible. Truly a masterclass in geopolitical chess, if the chess player is accidentally helping their opponent. So what does this mean for you? 3 things worth knowing. First, Nvidia is not dead. Not even close. They still dominate the global market outside China, and their software ecosystem is genuinely hard to replicate. If you're thinking about this from an investment perspective, the loss of China hurts, but it doesn't sink the ship. Second, the companies quietly winning from all of this are American cloud providers and AI software companies. The chips are the headline. The software is the actual prize. Third, this story is not over. The next 24 months will tell us whether China's domestic chips become good enough to truly compete, or whether the software gap proves too wide to close. Either answer changes everything. The honest truth is that technological leadership has never been about blocking your competitors. It's about moving so fast that catching up becomes irrelevant. The US has the talent, the capital, and the ecosystem to do exactly that. But that requires investing in it, not just putting up walls and hoping the other side stops climbing. The honest frog will keep watching this one closely. Because whoever wins the AI chip war doesn't just win a market. They win the next decade of global power. Subscribe if you want to understand what's actually happening, not just the headlines. And drop a comment below. Do you think China will close the gap in the next 5 years? I genuinely want to know what you think. See you in the next one.